If you're new to the project, a big warm welcome. If you're a tough old root, then welcome back. Today is all about gardening peas, what that takes, and then how to trellis them on the cheap. You're watching Steep in the Woods. I'm Josh.
I'm Celia.
And this is our daughter, Ivy. Here at Steep in the Woods, we are 100% off-grid. We live on a 14-acre mountaintop homestead nestled deep in the Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina. Here on Steep in the Woods, we do totally off-grid on a shoestring budget. You'll see no fancy stuff here. It's just making do with what you have and what you can figure out. In our experience, peas are remarkably easy. We never really had a problem, no matter how we grew them, what system that we used. In previous videos, we outlined not only how to make these beds really cheap, but how to also fill them for almost nothing. However, peas do just as well in hugelkultur beds, tilled up fields, raised garden beds, whatever you have the ability to make, they'll probably be happy with. The most important thing with peas is understanding they are a cool weather crop. You're going to want to get them in the ground as soon as possible, even prior to your last freeze date. There's also the possibility, depending on where you live, that you could plant them late in the fall and extend them through that winter period just a bit, enough to get a harvest out of them. Peas also need to be trellised, and that's what we're going to be working on today. So as you can tell, ours are in desperate need of trellising. Due to cost reasons and things of that nature, we're just going to get some posts off of the property. In our area, black locust is the best, most rot-resistant, strongest wood that we have. But what a lot of people don't know is that the rhododendron is almost as good. I think it's just about the right depth. Whew. I don't use the auger much. It's an amazing tool, and I'm very grateful to have it. But with as many roots as we have, it can really beat the ever-living bejesus out of you. But this 4-inch bit for it, I think is going to be just perfect for our rhododendron posts. In a perfect world, I would have charred the bottoms of them. I don't think that's very necessary. Using a really dense wood will make it last longer, period. You don't always have to, char them and put Appalachian red maple on them. All depends on what you're trying to do and what you're comfortable with accomplishing. At this point, I'm going to hand the project over to Celia so I can get to working on something else. But I will give you one homestead, self-reliance, self-sufficiency, whatever tip for you. Go out and get some electric fence wire. It is the cheapest connection method you could find. You can use this for anything, and it comes in such massive rolls. We use it for garden trellises, electric fence, obviously. Just anything. It's like the world's cheapest zip tie. You get like a half a mile for like 20 to 40 bucks, depending on if you go with the galvanized or the aluminum. I did finally run out of my last spool, and someone was nice enough to donate this to the project, primarily for the honeybees and for other, garden and fences, but also for trellises and just anything else I can think of.
In addition to the sugar snap peas that are growing in this raised bed, I also have kale and icicle radishes. I always companion plant my gardens to make the best use of our space and also to combat bugs and improve the soil. I plant peas twice a year, once in the very early spring and once in the mid to late summer. That would be a fall harvest. It's best to plant them as early as possible. Some light snow is actually very good for them, just not in heavy snowfall. The colder it is, the better the flavor of the peas are. Peas are one of my favorite crops, especially the sugar ones, because you can just pick them and eat them fresh for a snack. I planted the peas and the kale in March, and they are now tall enough to trellis about 2 months later. I think next year I'm going to try and plant them in February. I think they need just a little bit more cold temperatures. I chose to companion with kale because greens are a great way to get a lot of food really early in the season. They also act similar to a cover crop and help protect the soil from the sun a little bit. Soon I'm going to also plant a butternut squash in this, which likes to be companion planted with icicle radish. To trellis the peas, I wrapped electric fence wire twice around each post and went straight across beside the plants. I did that on either side. Then I gently pulled the peas up against the wire.
So there you have it. Go out and grow peas. Whether it's in the ground, raised bed, garden, hugelkultur, some kind of a hanging basket, it doesn't matter. They're easy and they are delicious. Make a trellis out of whatever you happen to have on hand and get to gardening. If you like what you saw, hit that button. If you're new to the project, hit that other button. If you want to help support the project, there are links below. Until next time here, Steve in the Woods.